Yeah, you see it here. I lost $4,678 in a trade. Now, I want to be upfront right from the start so I can respect your time. This is kind of clickbait. So it's not false, but there's also a little bit of clickbait in it. But within the context, there's a very, very important learning lesson and ultimately a tool that I would highly encourage you to consider using because as you're about to see, it can provide a whole lot of comfort. It can provide a whole lot of opportunity to survive and keep on learning and just be able to weather storms a little bit better than that. So, let me walk you through this trade and show you exactly what happened. So, to build a little context, I am trading futures, and futures are fantastic. There's no pattern day trading rule. They're open pretty much around the clock, and there's a lot of good, valuable, practical reasons to use them, and one of which I'll get to here in just a little bit. But and maybe that's the biggest reason to use them. But just from a surface deep standpoint, if you're a stock trader or an options trader, and the pattern day trading rule is really annoying to you, there is zero pattern day trading rule within the world of futures. But as far as this trade is concerned, so what happened? Well, the trend was going down and the move happened here. It came up, a failure came back down. So I'm thinking, okay, here we go. The trend is continuing, but I don't want to chase the price. Let's let it come up to me a little bit. So the price did come up to me and I started to get short. And then I was feeling very confident about things and it went up against me. So I got short some more and I'm like, okay, yeah, this thing is giving me a great opportunity. This thing is going to roll back over, got short some more. And then the rest is history. It did not roll back over in time. It blasted all the way up there, causing the loss. And then, of course, it did roll back over, but that was too late for me. Up around here is where I was liquidated for that loss that you saw. So, just a very brutal move, a very crazy trade. Now, it was so ultimately my fault at the end of the day. I was too overconfident in it. But yeah, just like I said, going with the trend, failed move up, came back down. I'm not chasing. Let's let it come up to me before it continues on down. But as you just saw, it did not continue. Just one of those moves where in trading lingo, we would call this a V-shaped recovery. So there is the first part of the V, and then there is the second part of the V. Straight up it went. And yeah, ultimately just smacked me in the face. Now, this is where the clickbait comes into play because me personally, out of my own bank account, I did not lose that amount. And if you were to go down the pathway that I went down, you would be able to experience the same thing. So, just for character's sake, let's say Tom just experienced that trade. But what Tom had done was he chose to trade futures and Tom chose to trade futures through a prop firm. Now, what is a prop firm? In a nutshell, it's a way for you to put little of your money at risk, and then you have a whole lot of upside potential, assuming you can prove yourself as a trader. So that's just the bare bones context of it. I'll put a link down below to the prop firm that I'm using that I would recommend, and that's who you're seeing here on the screen if you want to learn more. But again, let's say Tom had taken that trade, and ultimately, wow, $4,678. But Tom did not actually lose that amount. How so? Well, the way a prop firm works and the way that it helps to build manage risk against movements like this is you purchase accounts. So what you just saw there with that $40 or $600 loss was on an account that had $150,000 worth of purchasing power. Now, to get that $150,000 worth of purchasing power, it would cost Tom. So again, to stay with the story here, it cost Tom $252, and that is with the current promotion, but $252. And as part of the quote unquote prove yourself, you have to, go and pass a test. And the way the test works is you've got to be able to make 9,000, but you're not allowed to lose 4,500. And then after you pass the test, assuming you do, you would move into what's called a pro account. And that's where when you start to make money, you can request that money be paid out to you. But that's kind of outside of the scope of this of the video, because the point here is right now you're gaining real market action, but your risk is very limited because in this situation, when Tom took that loss, sure, he failed the test. He, in trading jargon, in prop firm trading jargon, he blew up his account. So his account was gone because he did lose more than the $4,500 that is allowed. But my question is, that big nasty move that occurred, did that actually cost him that amount? It didn't. It only cost them the purchase of the account, which was $252. So my point here is this, and something that I think you should highly, highly consider is if you are new, if you're a beginner, if you're struggling, and you have, and we all have those moments, even I do, where you have those, ooh, that was dumb, but I learned a lot. Or, ooh, I got too aggressive. I was overconfident, which is what happened there, right? I was too aggressive. I was too confident, and it cost me. But in any of those situations, when those circumstances occur, either, oh, whoops, that was dumb. I lost my mind. I went on tilt. I started revenge trading. I just, we've all been there where you go on tilt, you start revenge trading, and you just totally lose your mind. Or we've also been there where you really like a setup. You decide to get aggressive. You decide to step up to the plate, take a big swing, and it just doesn't work out. In fact, it's one of those V-shaped type moves, and it's like, oh, wow. But all of those circumstances, and I think I can speak for most people, I would rather have that cost me $252 or rather than $4,500 of my own money, right? So for Tom, did it cost him $4,600? It did not. It cost him the cost of the account right there, $250. And that is the power of a prop firm. Now, there's a lot of other great dynamics about it, but just from the built-in protection against those, whoops, that was dumb, but I learned a lot, or those, okay, I was aggressive, I took a big swing, and it just didn't work out. That was a crazy move. You have that built-in protection against you. And that is where I would say to at least consider using a prop firm. So yes, did I lose $4,600? I did, but did that amount actually come out of my bank account? It did not, for the reasons here. So if you do want to learn more about prop firms, I'll put a link down below to the one that I use that I recommend. And the main reason I recommend them is they have a really very good payout policy. You can request payments whenever you want in any amount. And they have, great customer service. There's a lot of things to like. That's not to say that there aren't other good prop firms out there, but just the model as a whole, I really like how there's that built-in risk protection against those sorts of situations that you just saw here. So like I said, I'll put a link down below and you can go learn more about it at that link. If you have any questions, by all means, make sure to let me know in the comment section and use the link that I do have because that'll ensure you get the current promotion. Now, promotions are always changing. So whenever you watch this video, it may not be 30% off anymore. It may be something different, but just use that link and that'll ensure you get whatever the current promotion is. So again, get out there, be smart with your risk, be smart with your capital. No need to risk $4,600 of your own money when you could just go and risk in this situation for the account size, the $252. Or if you really wanted to, you could go and purchase a different size account. So you could have one of these situations where maybe you just buy a $50,000 account and now that'd only be $119 of your money on the line. So that's the other nice thing is there's always all these different account sizes. So make sure you kind of figure out what you think is best going to suit your needs. But something that I would argue is a great tool is trading futures through a prop firm. And the tool just helps you keep that risk very much so under control. So like I said, let me know if there's any questions and I'd be happy to do my best to answer them.